Hello everyone, my name is Razze and welcome to my channel. I'm actually an aspiring author as well as a gamer. Um, it's been a while since I make content for YouTube and lately I've been very interested with Wuthering Wave after taking a break from my writing schedule. So I want to make more content about the game, but might not be a guide or something like that, but more like maybe some kind of maybe memes or some gameplay and maybe some things that actually more attuned to my side project, which is writing. Today I want to discuss more about the featured cinematics for 1.1 update, which is the As Fate Has Decreed. I've seen a lot of positive response for this video. I see that a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, it's a big cinema," or something like that. But I don't want to do a reaction video because I've seen this video several times already. But I want to like discuss like how how can we make a good cinematic trailer? How what kind of writing techniques they use here? Approach they use here to engage the audience to make them feel like this is such a nice trailer. One thing that we need to start with is the golden rule of writing is always like show, don't tell. But I'll argue that it doesn't have to be like that all the time. What important is the flow? What important is how you use both show and tell to actually serve your narrative purpose. So a good show and a good tell can use in conjunction to each other. I mean, most of way people use tell is in a very bad way. So it doesn't serve anything. It just like serve as exposition. But if you use it well to support what you will show, that is gonna be very useful in like squeezing out the content. You can compress the the time slot. You can compress for example, in books you can compress the number of words you are using. It's just a matter of how to use it very efficiently. And also the other thing that I want to discuss is how in this trailer and also other Kuro's trailer, they have the tendency of actually using an opposite emotion to show the emotion that want to convey. For example, like sadness, they use determination for it. Another case is if you want to show like happiness, you can use someone crying to show how happy the person is. And this is one kind of thing that they actually use in this trailer. And also one thing that is specific to this trailer is how they use mirroring effectively and put it into the theme itself. So yep, without further ado, we're gonna start discussing. Okay, right off the bat. Okay, this is how you do show, don't tell. Not because of they're telling you to use the headphones, but more like the typo here is very good example of Kuro typo, the classic Kuro typo. Okay, anyway, let's start.
Sentinel Jue saved us from the morass of wars. It embodies the hope of our people. Its future is Jinjo's future.
Okay, that's is tell. I mean, the only show it actually shows is when the snow acts weirdly. First it stopped and then it start falling. This is more to the lore of the location, the Mount something. I forgot the name of the Mount Firmament. It has something to do with the flow of time being weird in that place. So that's why they give you this scene where the snow stops and then suddenly drop. But other than that, most of it is actually Jinshi telling us about Jue. is a tell. But the way she said it is more like a bit sullen. So there is a bit of nuance on how she's telling us what Juez did. This can be done like you can actually show Juez saying this or that, but that might not serve very well into what they want to show you here. Again, they put this as a prelude for us to see what will happen next. And the way she said about the future it represents, yeah, it's a baseline there.
Sure.
Okay.
That of Jinzhou's.
Okay, here's the part that actually I skipped a bit just now. It says that his past mirrors that of Jinzhou, right? Again, when they said the past mirror of that Jinzhou, and then we get this scene come in, a scene from the past of what happened in this place. This is where the tell actually help with the show. If you turn off the audio and you just see the image happening, you will think like Jinshi is seeing things in the current or it's in the past. It takes you several seconds to actually recognize that this thing might be in the past. But because he already said here mirrors the past of Jinchou, you can see that when things happen right in front of our eyes, that is from the past. It helps with the narrative. Okay, this is what happened in the past. One thing that we need to see here, like the music also help with the narrative, right? One thing you should notice is that there is lack of drum in this section, and it's more like heart-wrenching music, sullen music. By the way, I won't be actually talking much about the animation. I do think the animation is very very good. It serves its purpose to give you an awe effect, like how like Jue looks very beautiful here, right? Okay, this part. Okay, this is where I said about the contradiction of emotions that's being used in this trailer. At first, it's about the past, how people died and everything, and then the baby was left alone, and then it changed into a more like, how you call it, a more positive emotion where the babies got saved, right? And then you switch into that one scene when the baby tried to reach out to Jue, who is now her parent, who is her savior. Then it switched directly to how Jinshi is trying to reach out to Jue, like what she did when she was a baby, which is a very sullen, very very griefful kind of emotion. So this is how the contradiction happened. And then here we see how she held back her grief into determination. So you see that instead of doing a spiraling down grief, emotion of grief, or negative emotion, they try to roller coaster you ups and down with negative, and then positive with the baby being safe, baby found a new salvation, and then negative again with how Jinshi like, oh yeah, I want to reach out to Jue again. I miss Jue. The kind of emotion, and then from that, I'm sorry, that's what my that's my cooker. Yeah, from that negative emotion back to how she held it back into a determination, which is arguably a very positive kind of emotion. So this will make the clashing, the opposite emotion feels like more impactful in a more subtle manner. Okay, this is where we go back to the past. Like, she remembers. It's mirroring her past now. Like, actually already mirror her past when she tried to reach out. Now as another mirror where she is into a ceremony trying to face Jue. In a sense akin to what she's doing now, is a trial to face Jue in a different way.
She. Are you still with me?
Here I want to like point out a very a beautiful plot that they use here, like a very a very plump and a juicy plot that is there's no way any writer could do that. This can be only done by artists. You know what I mean? Okay, let's continue.
Our central secretariat will be
Okay,
the
this is
final
the,
step.
the final step. Yeah, the final step. Again, it's mirroring what she's doing now. That time is a final step for her to become the magistrate, the chosen. But now is the final step for her to prove that she is the chosen. It's a different thing. Take up the matter of the chosen, and now is proving that she is the chosen by facing Jue.
Understood.
Okay, this is maybe more a bit more about trivial stuff. This weapon is actually the battle pass weapon, which is explained that the battle pass weapon is supposed to be a ceremonial weapon. So this relates to our battle pass. If you bought it, it says insider channel, means like we bought our battle pass to get insider channel into such important ceremonial weapon, which means our battle pass is actually us doing something criminal.
I know you will. But remember, you have a long way to go. Now, stay focused and walk ahead with confidence.
I like how that here Charlie said walk forward with confidence, because that's what Jinshi is kind of lacking in her current position when she wants to face Jue. She kind of like lack that confidence, lack that conviction actually. She just forced herself into determination. Sorry. Take note on the music here. They start to play the drum, which is very different from the front. Here, in this moment where she have to march forward, in a sense to fight on forward, they start to putting up the drum. Like, tuk, 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 like, this is where drum plays, how the narrative plays a drum. Drum is usually a musical instrument that you use to like set up a pace, and it's often used in like war bands or anything like to increase your moral, like because it's a very heavy and thumping sound, you know, mimics that of your heart or something like that, or your marching step. This is why she's marching up, accompanied by the sound of a drum. This is why the drum is started here, because it's a march, and it's also like giving you the sense of the grandeur of the journey, of the importance of the journey you're facing forward, you're pushing through.
In the wake of war, the populace suffer.
One thing that we need to kind of I want to talk a bit is like how Yue has two voice, a more feminine and a more masculine voice. It is because of some culture, some belief actually saw a god of a deity, more something like it's beyond a person, and how the deity actually try to mimic us. You know, like when they talk to us human, they try to mimic the mortals they are facing. Also here you can see that it's actually start to give you a tell. A populace suffer in the wake of war. It's tell.
A leader must unite for serenity.
Okay, here. It's amusing that they put the word serenity to reign, while in the background you see something far from being serene. It's destruction. This is how you put a contradicting factor to empower. For one, serenity to reign, so it shows how important to keep the peace by being the ruler of anything, but at the same time, it shows you how bad the destruction was. So it works both ways. By talking about serenity in face of destruction, we're doubling down on the effects of destruction itself, while by showing destruction, when we talk about serenity or peace, we kind of strengthen the importance of keeping the peace. Tread with caution, and they put it like mirroring in the current condition where she actually walks in the snowstorm, that she does need to tread with caution.
And join our sacred duty to defend the city and its folk with
Again, this is a very, very beautiful, blunt and juicy plot here. We just need a very few seconds to admire how plump the plot is.
honor and fervency. She. The rite has concluded. From this moment on, you will be Jinshi.
See the where she gains her determination even more after the struggle.
The new magistrate of Jinzhou.
And then music stopped. The march ended. Right? Everything she has, the grandeur from the past, the grandeur of the journey that actually pushed her forward, is now stopped. Whatever left is depending on her. There's no more past to actually help her to push forward. Nothing more of that. It's just here she has to decide to face WuWa.
As fate has decreed.
Okay, this is what I like on how the emotion is being showed here. You can see that through her determination, we can see that she was actually grieving. And then, after she was ready, she unseated her sword, and we are given this kind of scene, which we look away and look at her from a very different angle that obscures her eyes. This kind of camera trick, you can say camera angle, is a very common practice where you avoid to show someone's eyes in order to show the grief, the anger, or any negative emotion inside. Because I do think it's coming from even in our culture, in everyday life, when we start to like, you cry, and then you have to wipe your tears, or you hide it. Like I say, no, I don't cry, I didn't cry. Because we are used to hide it. So this is why this kind of showing the grief by this kind of technique, instead of just showing it someone crying, it's more effective. I do feel personally showing grief by this kind of touch, like by showing determination, by looking away from our eyes, is actually a very, very good way of showing grief, instead of just showing someone cry, right? I mean, imagine in this kind of scene when Jinshi is about to fight WuWa, and then suddenly she like cry like, "Oh, WuWa, why you have to fight?" No, that doesn't work. It will just ruin the whole thing. This is how you not ruin everything you have built up. You're not doing the grief. You're not doing any determination on it. This is how you are good to do it. I do feel like even crying is a more better to use in only certain conditions. You need a certain condition to use crying as a sign of grief, or maybe like soundless crying. That could be. I mean, if they put a tier 1 or 2 tier, that might actually work here. But because they want to show more of the determination than the grief, they don't show the tears. Even I personally do think that crying is better to show something to show like other emotions like relief, like happiness. Crying does double that kind of effect, and this is why here they don't show you she's crying. Like they show you the determination to show you that she is also grieving.
Jinshi will serve your will.
Okay, I love that part. She looks sad, right? And then she turns like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. I will serve your will that we have to fight. I have to face you. This is a very good way to wrap up the ending of your trailer, so you don't you don't ruin it. You wrap it up. It was Jinshi and Yue all the way, and we just want to show that the conclusion, despite of her grief, she chose to be facing it forward. I mean, imagine if the scene is like, suddenly in the back, 500 meters away, there's Changli looking at her and like, finally, the battle of fate will start. That won't work. That won't work at all. That will just ruin everything. Unless if you want to sell Changli with the trailer. No, but no, you don't. You don't do that. You do this. It's about Jinshi and Yue. You can add Changli in the middle, but in the end, it's about Jinshi and Yue. And this is a very good way to actually conclude your trailer with a cliffhanger. There is a conclusion. There's a mini conclusion that she will do it. It's just that we don't know how will it happen, which will be doing in the game later on. So yeah, that's it. That's why this certain trailer looks very good in the eyes of many people, other than just the animation, but the storytelling element they put you in the use here is very, very good. And I do think that there are three things that we can learn from here. Basically, the first one is that tell could fairly be useful in helping you to show something. Tell doesn't always mean bad. There is a bad show, there is a good show, and there is a bad tell, and there is a good tell. The way you use the tell should be helping in conjunction with the show to give you a better flow of the story. The second one is contradiction of emotions, be what being shown and what is supposed to imply, or how it's sequenced out one to the other, is a really, really powerful tool in trying to double the feel of that emotion itself. And the third one, in this case, and maybe if you're writing something along similar to this case, a mirroring can be used in a very effective way to actually increase the engagement. It increases whatever the number 1 and 2 tips that we learned from today, it increases double. So if you make a villain in your story that is a mirror of your MC, but doesn't mean that to mirror in a power, but mirror in like what happened to them, how they choose their life. That is already a much better villain than what we usually have. And as a closure, I would like to see that Kuro do this kind of thing more, like a better cinematics, even character trailers, because I saw some of the character trailers, earlier character trailers like Jian and Encore and Jianxin and Lin Yang, they all use this kind of technique actually. They contrasting emotion, like Encore, it starts with happy and then suddenly in the back it slaps you up with how lonely she is, how like she actually might be delusional. Yeah, that's how they actually powers up the emotion you want to convey. And I want to see that more in the future. And maybe I will try to discuss again about other trailers that have released or they might release in the future. Yep, so that's all for me. I hope any one of you try to pull her Jinshi to get her, and I'll just Changli. I will pull Changli. Okay, thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next time.